Hi guys, this is Andy Wright from the Aquaponics Project, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about our story and a little bit about aquaponics and what it is and why we think it is such a fantastic idea. So there's three things for me that really excite me about aquaponics. First off, it's just this chance to grow stuff. I've grown stuff for most of my life. I've been really fortunate to always have some sort of space, be it a little balcony or a family garden or just somewhere to grow some things. And I've always kept fish as well. And aquaponics is that mixture of growing fish alongside growing plants. And I love that idea behind it. I love too the innovation of it. The chance to play around with different types of plants, see what grows, see what doesn't, see what grows better, see what doesn't, see what how you can balance nutrient levels, how you can take care of the fish. I love that innovation behind it. The kind of mechanics, which we'll get into a little bit about how aquaponics works and how the systems work. Really love that. And the final part for me is the environmentalism of it. The chance to grow things in a sustainable way and in a way that we can kind of come a little bit closer to where the production of our food comes from. So here's some examples of what you can grow in aquaponics. We are definitely still experimenting with this. This is one of our prototype units, and we can see at the very front here we've got some parsley, which hasn't taken quite so well in recent weeks. I'm not entirely sure for the reason for that. It might be that too much power on the grow lighting here, or it might be that the roots aren't fully submerged enough. One thing that's growing really well here is the sage. We just transplanted that in a week or so ago. The basil has been in there for about a month now and it's going really well. Really getting some good bushing coming off it, and we've just been plucking the leaves off as and when we need them. At the very back is some thyme, and that transplanted in there about a week or so ago, and that's really shot up. That's really doing well. And then we've got some spinach. And if I just take this out, I can give you an example of how we're growing some of them. So some of them are grown in these, we call them Dutch buckets. So they are, they've got some slits on the side which allow the water to go in, and then the root sits inside. And the idea is then that the root doesn't grow too big, it doesn't clog up the system. So that's what we've got growing, and that's one of the reasons that I really like aquaponics, is that chance to grow a multitude of plants alongside each other, and you can see the spacing there is quite tight too. Thanks. So here's how all these lovely herbs grow. Now we start off down the bottom. I'm not sure, he's just kind of hiding in the corner there. You can't see him, but there's a couple of fish in there, which my daughter has aptly named Fleur and Ken Loach. One of them's a loach. That was more my joke. And they are I'm just going to come in front of the camera there to explain. So they're kind of the stars of the show. They're the ones that produce the fuel by which the plants grow. So fish will naturally excrete ammonia, and it's that ammonia which the plants will eventually gain their nutrients from. So I just need to show you just in here, there's lots of these little clay pellets. And inside these clay pellets are loads of tiny little air pockets. And in the air pockets are a couple of bacteria. Now, one of the bacteria takes the ammonia and turns it into nitrite, which still isn't ready, plant available. They don't need the nitrite, but what they do need is the nitrates. And naturally occurring in the atmosphere is another set of bacteria, same as the first, that takes up the nitrite and turns it into nitrate. And it's these nitrates that then the plants use to grow, and you can see we're getting some good growth from the system on the back here. So that's one of the aspects of innovation that really excites us about aquaponics. The fact that all these bacteria are naturally occurring. The fact that really this filtration system is completely natural, and that aquaponics itself isn't anything new. There are examples of it going on in in Mesopotamia, in ancient Far East, in times of ancient Aztecs. So it's all innovation, but kind of really established innovation that's been going around and maybe just been forgotten about in recent years. So second piece of innovation that really excites me about aquaponics, and I'm just wanting to show, I'll come in front of the camera just for a second. We've got some water that's going into this grow bed. You can see that just being pumped up, small pump in the system, and that's slowly raising the level of the water in the grow bed. Eventually it's going to get so high it's going to come to a certain point, and it's going to flush. I think we can see that just there, down a flush hole back into the water. Okay, so it gets up to a certain level and then it floats back down to a certain level. This is a siphon system, which again we'll talk about in a future YouTube clip of how it works. And one of the reasons that we do this is that the bacteria that live in these clay pellets, now they need oxygen, but at the same time the plants, obviously their roots, I think probably pull one out for you here. This one's just newly been transferred over. You can see it's started collecting a few pellets, but these need the water. So what you need is a system that has both water, and I'll just pop that back in there. That was one that I transferred from conventional soil about a week or so ago. So the plants also need the water, and as I said, the bacteria need the air. So what you need is a naturally flushing and draining system where the water moves up to a certain point and then moves back down to a certain point. So that's the innovation side of it, which we really like here. So a final piece of innovation, which is really new to us still, is the use of grow lighting, which we've got here. And I think this might be the cause of some of this issue with the parsley here. I'm not sure if you can quite see that. It's just a bit of yellowing. I think some of the plants prefer the longer lighting system and some of them don't. But there's another final example of innovation, which has kind of been forced upon us here during an English winter, where I first started learning about aquaponics in Malaysia, where obviously it was sunny pretty much from 7 in the morning, 7 to the evening, every single day, and things would just grow really fast just in the natural sunlight. Not quite as lucky here, but so that's why we're innovating with these grow lights, which we hope to include in some of our future systems. The third reason why I really like aquaponics is that chance for its links to a more environmentally sustainable future. And there's certainly some problems with the way that a lot of our food gets to us now. A recent DirectGov website poll indicated that around about 55% of our food is grown in the UK, but 45% is imported, and 20% of that comes from outside of the EU, which has massive repercussions for the things like energy loss on the refrigeration of food, the amount of plastic used to travel the food. Well, there's no plastic here, there's no refrigeration. People grow it in their own homes and then just pick it. In a really quick, efficient manner. It grows faster in the aquaponic systems because the nutrients are, the water there is so nutrient rich. It grows so much faster than it would do outside. Also linked to the idea of refrigeration is the time, the cost it takes and the energy to move these foods, the petrol that's used to transport them. We'll do a future clip talking about the impact on soil quality as well. There are no herbicides or pesticides in this. I think we as a project are trying to encourage people just to do this from the comfort of their own home, but our kind of bigger goal is just educating people about different ways of growing food. And there are a growing number of farms that make use of hydroponic and aquaponic technology in order to grow food and that has a diminished impact then on the environment, and more environments are able to rewild because these systems on a larger scale take far less space. And whilst that's not something that we're trying to do, what we're trying to do is just encourage and kind of educate people as to show, well, this is a new technology, this is how it works, this is how maybe it could be an alternative for farming of certain foods. So that's a brief kind of summary introduction into the Aquaponics project. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon with some future YouTube clips and content. Thank you. Bye-bye.